So can Adam Silver step in for the WNBA and save this organization from a situation where they might not recover? I'm on record saying that Cathy Engelbert needs to step down as commissioner. I understand that owners have more power over this, but at the same time, the players just do not like Cathy whatsoever. They are tired of her shenanigans because they have said it over and over again. The problems where they've had the most is the refereeing, and we see it time and time again. I've talked about it before. It's not just the Indiana Fever, even though they had 6 players injured. It's other teams as well that dealt with injuries or dealt with questionable calls. And it's like that can be avoided if we have a league caring about their product. But if we don't and players continue to get frustrated, it's going to boil over. And when Nafisa Collier came out and said what she had to say, it's like, whoa, that was an eye-opening press conference. Do I think Collier has some incentive here? Of course, because she's one of the co-founders of Unrivaled, and she'll be just fine if there is a lockout in the WNBA. And some people have criticized her because they're saying, well, you know what? It's perfect timing for her. And it's like maybe she needs to step down as one of the ones negotiating for a new CBA because she has nothing to lose here and everything to gain. Been criticism about what Collier did. But Adam Silver, he's like the boss of all bosses. Think of it like Triple H from WWE. He's the CEO head honcho. So everybody reports to Adam Silver. He sent a clear message about WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert standing with her players. And I'm glad he's stepping in. I haven't liked everything Adam Silver has done really in the last few years because of how he's not marketing the younger generation of superstars. You see them continue to push LeBron, Steph, and KD. I'm like, those guys have spent years in the NBA and they've earned that right. But we have to transition eventually to other players. Access to NBA games, like if you have a local team you support, you can't watch them unless you have cable, which I think is just a dumb idea by the NBA. He recently came out and said, oh, the fans can catch the highlights if they can't afford these cable packages or these streaming platforms. And I'm like, dude, you are just turning fans off and you're out of touch. So I've had my critiques about Adam Silver, and hopefully he can figure some things out. At the Collier's criticism of Engelbert, it's just been a mess of a situation. And she's got support from her peers. It's clear that she isn't alone in feeling this way. So Adam Silver addressed Cathy Engelbert's relationship with WNBA players. He says here, Cathy Engelbert has presided over historic growth in the league, but there's no question that there's issues we need to address with our players. Historic growth is an interesting choice of words. I understand the salaries have gone up for the players ever since she stepped in. But when you look at the Caitlin Clark situation and how she doesn't really embrace her and doesn't market her very well, and you look at a person like Paige Becker's, where it seems like she is more in favor of pushing Paige and Caitlin, it's just a mess of a situation. Then you have that investigation with the Fever fans where the Sky accused the fans of being racist and they found nothing at all. Cathy, has her fingerprints in all this. So I find it interesting to say historic growth when the league hasn't made any money. Like that's just crazy to even say. They're not just economic, there's relationship issues as well. I'm confident we can fix those over time, and this league can continue to be on the rocket trajectory that it's on right now. Adam Silver has his hands full because these players aren't going to just back down and say, oh, Adam Silver's in the room. Let's listen up. Should the players move forward with a lockout? I don't think so, because it's going to hurt the league more than help the league, because they can talk about fair pay all they want. But the reality is, when you break down how this league is being ran, they rely on the NBA and investors to keep them afloat. Without those two factors, this league is down the drain and nowhere near existence. If I'm the players, I'm very careful here. I would not get under, Silver's skin and push him away. Are there relationship issues going on? Yes, but if that's the case, then maybe Cathy needs to go. The players have said loud and clear, we don't like Cathy. We don't want anything to do with her because we have shared our frustrations. I remember there was an interview with Stephanie White where she said, yeah, I've had conversations with the league about the refs and nothing's been done. I've been watching the WNBA since last year. Has anything changed since 2024 with the referees? No, it has not. We just see it with other teams with how physical it is, but it's too much physicality. Cathy has come out and said that the WNBA is similar to the NFL. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you make that type of statement? Because the NFL is very physical. We don't need it at that type of physicality in basketball. There has to be a boundary that you don't need to cross. When you look at the NBA, people criticize it softer these days, but I'm grateful that they at least protect these players because when there's questionable calls out there, they step in and enforce the rules. They don't just let these players do whatever they want. But in the WNBA, like a Dejanay Carrington, where she's able to do whatever she feels like, and you're like, why don't you punish her? Then you have problems with the poking of the eye, the pulling of the hair this year on a player against the Sparks. And it's like, yo, step in and do something about this. And when you ignore your fan base, when you ignore the players and coaches, it is going to boil over and get to a point where the players are saying to themselves, just quit, step down because we're just tired of you. You can try to fix a relationship, Adam Silver. I don't think it's going to happen. He later added, there's no question that the WNBA is going through growing pains. And it's unfortunate that's coming just as their most important games in the finals are on right now. We've had 2 fantastic games so far, and it's now 3 because I just saw the game last night. Man, DeWanna Bonner's about to get swept. That is so funny to me. And want to celebrate the game at the moment. And then we've got to sit down with the players and negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement. Here's the thing, Adam. This was bound to happen. You can't just act like this wasn't going to reach this moment because the players came out with the t-shirts. I didn't like that stance they took with saying, pay us what you owe us. However, the other factors like the refereeing, the bad calls, and it's getting ignored. This was bound to happen. They've been going through growing pains ever since they existed. I don't know why his choice of words are just funny to me because you look at the league itself, it's done nothing to make profits. So growing pains, yeah, I guess, but they need to really think about the old media, how they cover teams and how they talk about players. And they also need to get these old players out who don't want to embrace the new style coming into the WNBA because it's only going to help this product. But we'll see how this all plays out. I want to hear your thoughts about Adam Silver. Do you think he can actually help land a deal and avoid a WNBA lockout? I want to hear your opinions on that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.